It's almost like someone has control of his legs with little puppet strings and they're pulling them up and down. But it must be awful for him because he just really struggles to get around. Hey, Dusty.
Oh, wicked. Hey, hey. Sorry, Chris.
They actually look pretty good.
Good. So what is he?
Yeah, well, that's the big question, isn't it? I'm really looking forward to my next patient. I don't get to see too many donkeys in the clinic, but when I was a kid, I used to have a pet donkey. He was called Pablo, and ever since then, I've just been fascinated by them.
Chris is about to help some other orphans at a famous donkey sanctuary outside Melbourne. The refuge is run by humanitarian May Dodd.
Here at the shelter, we have about 150 donkeys in residence. They tend to be rescue donkeys of one form or another, either because of abuse, abandonment or neglect, or indeed that the owners are just too old to be able to cope with them anymore.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming.
That's all right. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Come on in.
Where's this donkey we need to look at?
It's this one here.
Wow. That's quite dramatic, May. May tells me that for the last week, Dusty has been walking and running in a really bizarre way. She doesn't know what's caused it. She has no idea. What she does know is that it's not normal. That's really something. It's very rare to see that. That is definitely not normal. It's almost like someone has control of his legs with little puppet strings and they're pulling them up and down. But it must be awful for him because he just really struggles to get around. You've gone back the way you walk, yeah?
Dusty has been with May for a year.
We'll see what we can do, huh?
The donkey arrived at the shelter in terrible condition with one eye missing.
How did he lose his eye, do you know?
I have no idea.
He was just like that when he came to the shelter?
Yeah.
Now, with this walking,
Yep.
a recent thing?
Yes, and it seemed to start off with one leg and then alternate, and now it's in both legs. And I'm just a bit worried he's distressed.
Yeah.
The thing that bothers me the most is that if we can't do anything, where is this leading to?
There are a couple of things that could be causing this. Probably the most important thing to do is give him a really good check over now and just see if there are any sore spots to start with.
Okay.
Okay.
May is really worried about Dusty, and it's easy to see why. She knows that if his condition gets much worse and he can no longer walk, then she'll have no choice but to put him down. We'll need to find a solution here and find it fast.
I've seen donkeys do some strange things, but I've never really seen one walk this way and walk in a way that really he has no control over. It's really something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not right. If nothing can be done and it deteriorates to a point that he can't move around, then really I'll have to look at euthanasia as an option.
I just want to check through here to make sure, first of all, there's no pain in his spine. What I'm looking for along Dusty's spine are really any areas of soreness, any areas where he may have slipped a disc or he may have a pinched nerve. That could cause this strange walk. So you can see it's not worrying him. In fact, I think he quite enjoys the massage.
Well, seems to.
So I think we can safely say a back problem isn't causing that walk.
Well, that's good.
All right, next thing I want to check are his hooves.
Yep.
If he's got sore feet, then you can imagine yourself, if you've got bindies in your feet, what do?
Yeah, you hop.
You hold them up.
Yeah.
And you really don't want to put much weight on them.
Yep.
And that would explain why he's walking the way he is. Hey, Dusty.
Oh, wicked. Hey, hey. Sorry, Chris.
They actually look pretty good.
Good. So what is he?
Yeah, well, that's the big question, isn't it? With no problems in Dusty's spine and his back feet showing no issues at all, then this is a bit of a mystery. But I've got a hunch. There's something that affects horses that could be affecting Dusty. And the cause, it's right underneath us. See, when I look at Dusty and see the way he walks, I know his back's not sore.
Yep.
I know that his feet aren't sore, but his walking is really, really abnormal.
Yes.
And the answer could actually be in here somewhere.
In the pasture.
Uh-huh.
In country Victoria, Chris is hoping he's finally worked out just what's wrong with Dusty.
There's something in my gut that's just saying that Dusty has string halt. It's a condition caused by a plant toxin which is found in some very select weeds. Now, donkeys eat this, it goes straight to their muscles and affects how those muscles fire. I'm looking for something in here. It's actually quite nasty.
Oh, OK.
And it doesn't take a lot of it to cause a donkey like Dusty problems.
OK.
If my hunch is right, then the weed that most commonly causes string halt is going to be somewhere in this paddock. I've just got to find it.
Come on, Dusty.
Here. See this? This weed here has a toxin in it. It's called flatweed. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this weed in their own gardens. But for a donkey, just to eat a small amount of it, it can cause what is a really dramatic problem. So he eats the weed, goes into his system.
Yeah.
The toxins go to his hamstrings.
OK.
And they actually cause little spots there.
Right.
And the muscle dies off. And when that happens, the nerves no longer fire properly. So when he's walking along, it's like he gets a cramp each time.
Oh,
and it lifts up his leg.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there.
Yeah.
OK?
Yeah.
And for him, the whole cause of all of his problems, of that strange way he walks, is sitting right there.
It seemed remarkable that something so sparse and so small could have such a devastating effect on a relatively large animal. But I guess the toxin must be quite potent. So, Dusty, unbeknownst to me, you've become addicted to weeds. What a silly sausage. Hey? All your leg problems are coming from that. So, we're going to have to rehabilitate you.
It seems really strange that with all the other grasses available, Dusty wants to eat this weed, but that's what happens. They really get a taste of the particular flavours in this plant, and they keep on coming back for more. It's almost like Dusty is a weed addict. We really need to find a spot where there's just no access to that flat weed at all. A little rehab area.
OK.
You got the spot for us?
Well, I think so. I'll show you. You see what you think.
Yeah, no worries.
OK. Come on then, let's show. Come on. That's it.
Game's up, isn't it, huh?
May's property is huge and absolutely covered in flatweed. We need to isolate Dusty and take away that temptation, otherwise his problem's only going to get worse.
Come on. My first thought was, well, I can't dig out every single weed on 160 acres, so what on earth am I going to do? And so, inevitably, the idea of stabling is the obvious answer.
Dusty's rehabilitation will run for up to 3 months.
We reviewed your case, and as soon as though you didn't really know you were doing something bad, you get a reward rather than punishment.
He will spend his days detoxing on hay, and hopefully then he'll be able to return to a paddock stripped of the offending weed.
Slow and steady steps for Dusty, and I'm very hopeful he'll be back to normal. Certainly enjoying that chat.
I think there's a few jealous donkeys around here.
Yes, that's right.
And now plotting how they can get on the weed as well.
Probably.
But now, Chris has one final test for the donkey.
You know all donkeys are born with a button, an ear button?
No.
You heard about this?
No.
Every donkey.
What's an ear button?
Let's check. Is your ear button working? Yep. It's in operation.
Well, that's good. You've got enough problems, you don't need that.
It's routine service again? Yep.
Yeah.
There we go, good. The ear button works.
Hang on.
I know what this one thinks. So what's the worry here?
The worry is that the eye is very weepy.
Before Chris leaves, May is sneaking in another patient.
Tom's obviously got a pretty serious irritation to his right eye, so the first step in working out what's going on is really to clean it up. From there, I can work out a plan about how to fix it. So this is just soaked in saline.
OK.
Now that's clean, the funny thing is the eye itself is actually pretty good. There's no sign of infection around the eyeball.
Yes.
The conjunctiva is good, but I would say what's happened is that Tom's had a conjunctivitis,
yes,
which has caused a whole lot of gunk to come streaming out of that eye. In the meantime, the eye itself has actually got better, but the gunk sitting on the skin has attracted flies, and he's actually got a secondary infection on the skin now. So an eye problem has actually become a skin problem.
OK, OK.
So what we need to do is make sure the eye problem is actually totally fixed up with some cream. Come on, Tom. Come on. There you go.
That's it.
There we go.
Done.
I've heard of second opinions, but seriously, third and fourth, it's getting ridiculous. What do you think? You agree with that? I know what this one thinks. These are hard-working conditions. It's all right, Tommy.
I've given Tom some antiseptic eye treatment. Look, it's not the most masculine of colours, but in the long run, I'm sure he'll thank me.
So we've treated the eye, but also importantly, we prevented the flies from ever coming back in there.
And irritating him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sort of fitting, really, isn't it, that it ends? Tom, that was lovely. Oh, there we go.
Thank you very much for the time and effort you've put in. We're very grateful.
No worries. I get my kicks because, well, they're never dull, are they?
No, that's certainly not.
That's what I mean. It's good to see
Thank
that,
you.
mate. Take care.
Hi, I'm Dr. Danny. If you enjoyed this video, then please remember to subscribe to the Bondi Vet YouTube channel. Click on the screen now to continue watching more great content. And if you love Bondi Vet, then check out our Bondi Pet Marketplace at bondipet.com for a great range of Aussie pet products and services. We can't wait to see you there.